Now you can hear me loud and clear, I think. Let me know if you're joining the live stream. You hear me loud and clear. Thank you once again for tuning in to another edition of Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we're going to be kicking off this show in a minute. Let me get set up while you're tuning in. Let me know that you can hear me. I repeated that twice, I bet, because I had the mic off too. So, let me set up here real quick, and we will get this show kicked off. Okay. Now that we got that out the way, actually, I'm going to. How you guys doing out there? Word up. Now I got you guys up on my. What's up? Thank you for tuning in another edition here at Round One Sports TV. What's up, baby? Funline, how you doing? Please smash the like button. Hector, how you doing? Kids forever, how you doing? What's up, guys? We got a little bit here to talk about. There's a lot of things going around in boxing news, hitting a lot of headlines, and I know that a lot of YouTube channels are covering everything about the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney thing. So if you've heard enough about that and you're ready to talk about boxing and some of the best boxers we have today, well then join me. We're gonna break down one of the biggest and hottest boxers right now, I believe, Naoya Inoue, and why and what makes him so good and what has everyone talking about him. I want to break that down. Also, real quick, I want to touch up on the 5-5 that's coming June 1st with Deontay Wilder and Zhang. That's going to be a pretty interesting card. It's ironic that Ed Hearns has Deontay Wilder as his fighter and Frank, right? Warren, right? He has the other guy. It was supposed to be kind of like 5 on 5, five, Brits against five American fighters. But at the last minute, there were things that were changed and what have you, or whatever. However, it was going to come out, or it was five Ed Hearn fighters versus five Frank Warren fighters, like that, right? I forget what the initial thing, the way they were doing it, but I know that it switched up. It's a decent card right now. A lot of us want to know where Dante Wilder is at in his career. Check this out, right? And I know you watching, right? My nephew, a few years ago, Chuchi, right? He was arguing with me and he was telling me a few years ago that Dante Wilder was the best heavyweight of all time. And I remember having this conversation with him, right? And I was looking at her and I was telling him, no, he's not. He can't fight. He can't box. And Chuchi looked at me, puzzled, stunned. At that moment, he decided my uncle doesn't know what he's talking about. He said, anyone that would say that, right? This was a few years ago. I would like to hear what he has to say about the man now. Back then, I was telling him, I was trying to tell him, I was like, listen, he has a right hand from fucking the realms of hell themselves. That right hand that man possesses is out of this world. He just doesn't know how to box. Now, if you ask me, you're gonna put Dante Wilder in with Zane that beat who? And Parker beat who? Now I understand I don't want to go down that road just because this guy beat this guy. It means he's going to translate and beat him. When you got the kind of right hand Dante Wilder possesses, he's always in the fight. He's always in the fight. One touch with the touch of death that man possesses, it's night night, baby. It's night night. He just got to get the confidence back to pulling the trigger. As you can see with Parker, Parker saw Wilder wasn't fighting him. And that's why he stepped on the gas with confidence. He said, This man's not here to win. And I just got to do this much. And he figured it out. He was very observant, and hesitant in the beginning of that fight with Deontay Wilder Parker, right? Because, bro, that right hand at any time is a game changer. Boop, it's over. So you gotta respect that right hand, baby. That right hand is heavy, right? So, but if you put him in boxing situations like Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou, you'll be able to catch Deontay Wilder. Now, whether or not, once again, here we are, just asking ourselves the same question. Nah, this time Deontay Wilder, someone's going to teach him how to box, and we're going to see a better version of him. Ain't that what we said the last fight? We thought we was going to get that the last fight against Parker. And where the fuck was Deontay Wilder at? He didn't show up. So, I'm interested to see where is his heart still in it? And is he willing to take it up another step, even in defeat? Is his mental, and then he's saying, right, Deontay Wilder, he was on YouTube saying, yo, all these people criticized me when I was the angry Deontay Wilder. And now that I became this calm version of myself, now the people don't like me. They want to turn me into the old me. No, that's not what it is. People don't like you because you started losing consecutively. And you lost to the Gypsy King consecutively. And they didn't have anything else to say once they saw him knock you out like that. Nah, it's not because you was yelling bomb squad that we don't like you no more. Or it's not even that we don't like you. It's just that they don't believe in the fact that you're him anymore. Because everybody likes you, Deontay Wilder. I love you. I like you. I just don't believe in the skills. I never can count a man like you out, though. Brother, you have 50% of the fight won just with that right hand. For 12 rounds, he's proving it. He can carry that sledgehammer and any minute in the fight, Dante go, it's over, son. It is over. So, you got to respect that, but I don't think because I guess he decided this is why they don't, because you losing so much. That's why people pull back. You ain't knocking anybody out. So that's what it is. Bam, bam, boogie. Wait a minute. Building. Listen, Bam is holding out. I want everyone to know he's got these killer videos. Can't let me know anything that he can edit like this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Round One Sports Talk getting all the knowledge, and then putting out monster shorts. Bro, the man is good. I need those kind of skills on the platform. Bam, you're holding out. What's going on? And I was thinking about actually promoting you. Yeah, the office was calling. Not yet. Now we gotta see what's really going on. Bam. This is my impersonation of Bam. Yo, what up, E? Yo, him with the glasses. You see his little thing? Hey, yo, you gotta help a brother out, man. You know what I'm saying? Where we taking this? Where's the brand going? Round One Sports Talk. Come on, baby. You know what I mean? Front line. What's up, baby? Yeah. Yo, smash that like button. Let's get it popping. Yeah, Wilder, yeah, that's why the fans, I believe, push back from Wilder. So many times we thought we were going to get that version of Wilder, that he was going to stand there and fight the Gypsy King. A little bit of boxing, a little bit more, and it was just like he relied on that right hand. He had a bunch of yes men in his corner. Yeah, champ, hit. That little pad that they hit. He's like, yeah, champ, hit the bat. Yeah, you're looking good, champ. Yeah, yeah, champ. Oh, training's over. Yeah, champ, don't worry about it. You know, and he had too many yes men. He needed someone that would tell him to shut up and start over. Start the basics from like you just walked in the gym with him. All you need to know is that he has that right hand, and I can work with that. I can work with that. Fight by fight, he should have been improving as he was going along. Yes, he should have. Yes, absolutely. Hey, yo, from sanitation to video editing in 1 month. Listen, you can move up in round one sports talk. It goes to show you there's room here to grow. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, Bam Bam Boogie's positioning is starting to grow. All right? It's right before your eyes, people. You know what I mean? It shows you if you come aboard, this is how we get down. You know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying, you know what you're doing. Bam seems like he knows what he's doing. Stop holding out, bro. All right. Come to the meeting on Monday. Yeah. yo, where the hell is the rest of my people? Where's Armando? Where's R1? All right. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of late here. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to find good work. You know what I mean? Good workers. Yo. Mm. Listen, guys, I gotta tell you, man, there's a lot of big stories going around in boxing right now. In that Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, they hogging up everything. You got both sides pleading their cases over both fighters, and I will allow those channels to do so. And if you want to see that, you can. I feel free. You know what I mean? But I want to talk about some of the greatest fighters we have right now. And some of the best boxers we have sometimes, unfortunately, in the boxing world, some of them get, passed by. Either it's because they're too good and no one wants to fight them and everybody finds out about them, or it's because they become too good and then soon they become avoided. Fighters like Marvelous Hagler, when he was coming up, fighters before him told him, listen, you already got 3 strikes. You're black, you're left handed, and you're good. And no one wanted to fight that man. In fact, it took into one of the Kennedys to petition for his first title fight. Did you know that? Marvelous Hagler. He had something like already 40 fights in before he got his first title fight. Okay, he was highly avoided. They were like low risk. Um, and no one wanted to fight him. But when you have fighters in our era right now, such as Naoya Inoue started his career at 108 pounds. I repeat that, at 108 pounds. Okay, he was only but a 5'5" Japanese fighter. And in his contract, when he signed his contract, he told his promoter, I will sign with you only on one condition. I get no easy fights. I want the quickest path to the title. See, this Japanese kid, Naoya Inoue, otherwise known as the Monster, which a nickname he inherited, we'll soon talk about. Naoya Inoue didn't have a gold medal starting off his career, where that many fighters coming into boxing, such as Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya, uh, um, Vasily Lomachenko has 2 gold medals, not one but 2. And if you get a gold medal coming into boxing, it will catapult your career. You'll get nicknames like the Golden Boy, the Golden One, the Golden Child. They'll give you boxing nicknames, because a gold medal carries big weight. in boxing and it will catapult your career. But for some reason, Japan decided to go another way because it was clear to me when I looked at that fight that Naoya Inoue fought for the qualification in Japan to qualify for the Japanese team. He won that fight, but it seemed like they had their eyes on someone else. And he didn't make his own Japan boxing Olympic team. So he decided at a young age of 19 years old to venture off into boxing with only six professional fights. Six. Six professional fights. Mind you, Terrence Crawford had at least 26 professional fights before he competed for his first world title. Tried, just to keep it in his perspective. Six professional fights? He's competing for a real world title, not an interim, not a small belt, a real one at 108. He wins his first world title, right? And he doesn't stop there. He defends the belt in only eight, and I repeat, eight fights, less than 10 fights. He ventured off into a new weight division. Where have you ever heard of any fighter in boxing history to have already two weight divisions and only eight professional fights? Now, Vasily Lomachenko has the record for the fastest champion. With only four professional fights, he became a world champion. You see? So, Naoya Inoue didn't beat him in that aspect, but as two division world champion, listen, it gets better. He defends that belt at 115, which he jumped over one weight division, mind you. He from 108, he skipped over one weight division and hopped into another one. It's hard enough just moving up one weight division. He skips by an entire division and goes right after the champion. No tune-up fight. He says, for my tune-up fight, I'll fight the champion. With only eight professional fights, he achieves that. Then he enters the World Series. Was it in 115? Or is it 118? No, at 1 8. Was it 118 that he entered the World Series of Boxing? Hold on one second. I have it right here, ladies and gentlemen. I will not guess this. I will not guess this. I have no need to guess it. So he wins. He wins his title at 115, right? He defends that title at 115. He wins it, right? Against Omar Narvaez. Then he goes to defend it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 times. Then he fights Jamie McDonald and he beats Jamie McDonald in this is his third weight division at 118. He fights Jamie McDonald. Not a man, listen. Look, Jamie McDonald was the European champion. He was undefeated for 10 years. He had never been knocked down in his career. You have to understand, he was champion for 4 years. He dominated that division. When they showed him Naoya Inoue's picture, he took a look at him and he legitimately said, yes, I'll fight him. He couldn't believe that this guy coming up from 108 pounds, moving up into his division, 118. I'm coming up after defending his title several times at 115. He was well acclimated to that division, but no tune up fight. He said, yeah, you're damn right, I'll fight him. This is easy money. Um, um, McDonald came in at 5'9" and a half, 5'10". The Japanese superstar was 5'5". McDonald's arm reach, I believe it was, why don't we just look? He has a 71.5 inch arm reach. Yeah, Naoya Inoue has um he has a 67-inch arm reach. So when you're talking about size advantage, the things that they're talking about, like in fights with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, the length, the size, and they're arguing all these factors, I just want you to know this man has fought much taller fighter, much longer fighter, stocky fighters, brawlers, southpaws, orthodox fighters. He's fought them all, from your boxing technician to your counterpuncher, all of them. One by one, I gotta tell you, He moves up to 118 and beats McDonald, right? And he enters the World Series of Boxing. Now, the World Series of Boxing is an event that's really, really, really getting its, like the trophy that they're giving out, the Muhammad Ali prestigious trophy. And that's a tournament that you enter that like, let 8 men enter, and most of these men are world titleists. And it's basically the last man standing walks away with everything. He walks away with the belts, the money, the trophy, etc. It's a risky thing for your career because, as you can see, there's only one man left standing. The man that ended up giving him the most trouble in that fight was Donito Donaire. And many people after that fight said that Donito Donaire had made a blueprint of beating Naoya Inoue. And then after that, they doubled down on it and said the only reason why the Japanese superstar won, in fact, is because he had fought an Asian Nonito Donaire and that he was past his prime. When on the outside looking in, I said to myself, Nonito Donaire was past his prime? He wasn't that good? Had it not been for the Naoya Inoue Japanese superstar, Nonito Donaire wins the whole tournament. Who is going to stop him? And you're saying that he was past his prime, he was no good. But he was going to be good enough to win the entire tournament had it not been for that man. So how are they saying that he was past his prime when everyone in the tournament couldn't beat him? If you let them tell you and twist you up a tail, they'll tell you that Naoya Inoue is not the best fighter we have today. He is absolutely the best fighter we have today. And after that tournament, he secured 3 belts. The last remaining belt, he went after Paul Butler. He beat Paul Butler and unified all 4 belts in his first weight division. 30 days, only 30 days after securing all 4 belts, he vacates all the belts and he ventures off into a new weight division to fight the number 1 champion that didn't have 1 belt. He had 2 belts. And guess what? That champion was undefeated. He was revered as the best 122-pounder in the world, Stephen Kubo Fulton. And going into that fight, Naoya Inoue came into that fight with no belts. Now, when you look at something like that, you can quickly overlook it and say, okay, he vacated his belts. That's not just that easy. Look at fighters that are moving up into other weight divisions and how long did they hold on to those belts? And even men that are currently doing that right now. Terrence Crawford still has 3 belts at 147. Is he fighting at 147? Do you really believe he's going to ever fight at 147? He still has those belts. Why is he holding on to them? Naoya Inoue did not want to hold up anyone else's career or dream of achieving to becoming a world champion. He relinquished all the belts and said, have at it. They said, Naoya Inoue, if you give up your belts, you'll have no belts. You fight Stephen Kubo Fulton. What if you lose? He knew exactly who he was. He's a champion. And a champion, doubt doesn't cross his mind. Losing is not an option. He planned on going and beating Stephen Kubo Fulton, and taking both his titles. And he did such as that. He went Stephen Kubo Fulton, I commend him because he ventured out into Japan and he took that fight, knowing that Naoya Inoue was going to put in the paperwork to become his mandatory. When Stephen Kubo Fulton ventured out into Japan and his coach came out on, you know, right there in front of all the cameras for Japan and the world to see, and accused Naoya Inoue for having loaded hand wraps, right? Then he asked him, how would you like me to rap him? Rapped him like that and knocked his boy out, right? And it just goes to speak to the level of him trying to prove to the world, no, I don't need loaded hand wraps. I don't need steroids. And I don't need to fight in America to make me the best fighter in the world. What truly makes him the best fighter in the world is, first of all, the way he approaches the fight. From the beginning of the fight, he's all business, completely focused, taking down small bits of information, but pushing the action. He uses his jab as, let's get the party started. He doesn't waste any time. If you stand in front of him for more than 10 seconds and you're not doing anything, he's going to come and alert you that we're in a fight right now. He has the uncanny, like, he has this ability, right, of hitting these well placed body shots where that his opponent doesn't see him doing it or doesn't even think about hitting him in those moments. And when I go back and I watch a lot of his fight videos, he's really intelligent. And when he places that body shot, it's usually when the guy's thinking moving. When the guy's moving, he's thinking evading, not punching, and his feet are not set. That's when he can get away with a lot of those well placed body shots, right? A lot of those shots, I started to notice really affect the guys. Most of these guys are trained athletes, professional boxers, and they know how to take a punch. They know how to hold, a pretty decent poker face. Some guys, you hit them too much, it's just too much. They're gonna show that they hurt. But the good ones, and the elite fighters and stuff, you don't have to necessarily be elite. But the high guys, they know how to keep it together, you know. So he comes in with caution, but aggression. And the one thing with Naoya Inoue, I believe that was going to give him trouble was the fact that he doesn't like taking a step backwards. When he came into that fight against Luis Pantera Nari, I was watching that fight in a live reaction and I was saying it. I was saying it in the moment. I was saying, Nari just threw his punch. It was a little wide. I said, if he tightens that punch up, he'll be more effective because the Japanese guy, he keeps lowering that hand. And I saw it. And sure enough, whap, he caught him. Now, you know what separates a good fighter from a great fighter and an elite fighter? A good fighter can make reads 6, 7, 8 rounds. Good fighter. A great fighter can have his guy figured out, 4, 5, 6. An elite fighter can do it in the moment. You hit him with that shot, good luck. You're not going to hit him with that same shot the rest of the night. Those kind of fighters, they make reads and adjustments. They understand what they did wrong. Did you notice in the fight that the Japanese superstar, his adjustments, he went back out. He wasn't scared to come in. At no point was he looking for a way out. He gathered himself after the punch. He blocked when he needed to. He took the center of the ring and he worked until he got himself to the next round. Once he got that minute in between, his hair cleared, he got up, he took that breath, he slapped his gloves, and he quickly went to work. He quickly, slid out on his back foot and started popping his jab. And he started making and creating his opportunities. He started moving on angles, snapping them. Bro, listen, he picked that man apart. It was beautiful to watch, and then, like, knowing that you've been down in the fight and giving your opponent that kind of confidence, he's going to attack you. And you know this. For him to have the ability, and I truly mean this, Luis Pantera Nari didn't win another second of that fight. He didn't win another minute. Listen, that's shutting someone down after he knocked you down. How many times have you seen that? I've seen guys come back in a fight, will themselves in the back in a fight, losing the fight, get knocked down, but the other guy's gas tank started to fall apart and his technique started to fall to the wayside and this guy started hooking. I've seen those fights, and it was round by round progression. No. That's not what this was. This fight right here was the Japanese superstar going down, and immediately from that moment that he got up, he didn't win another second. That's different. You're doing something there that's just like you're proving that was a lucky punch. You are not better than me, okay? And we seen fighters that we thought were more skilled, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. We seen what happened when Ryan Garcia caught up to him. We seen what happened. Contrary to what anybody's saying, going into the fight, after the fight, no matter what, I believe two men went into that ring. Am I correct? And when both men went in that ring, I believe they agreed to fight. Am I right? Okay. Devin Haney could have made adjustments. Listen, you could say what you want about Floyd Mayweather. Listen, you don't have to like him, right? But you gotta give the man. You gotta say the truth. Go watch Floyd Mayweather fighting Diego Corrales. Bro, Diego Corrales and Floyd were like this. So don't tell me anything about height, size, and that Ryan Garcia was a weight bully and he was way bigger than Devin Haney. That happens every day in boxing. What happened when the bigger guy fought Naoya Inoue? What happened when Naoya Inoue went down? What happened when the bigger guys fought Floyd Mayweather? The great ones excelled. The great ones showed you why they're the great ones. And that performance that Japanese superstar did, Naoya Inoue, that shit wasn't easy. But boy, was it impressive to watch. Every second throughout the fight, I was on the edge of my seat. I was thinking that, once you know that Lewis can put him down, shit, that you saw it. He got the power to put him down. So I'm like, but once he started taking over in that fight, and I saw in that round, he hit him with a combination. I saw his legs wobbled. You could see that look in his eye. He was like, wow, this guy hits hard. And you could see in my live reaction, I started saying right away, I was like, bye, Nary, bye bye. It was just a matter of time. I think I said it 6, 7, 8 times because I knew from the very first shot that I saw him take, I was like, oh, this is over with. This is over with. I've seen this story before. You know, Lu Naoya Inoue is a very, very, you know, by if I was to break it down by the sweet science and what a boxer I would like him to look like, it would definitely be the style and the way he delivers it. He's very slick in a lot of things. There's no Superman. I always talk about this. If you guys know my channel, you guys know this. There's no Superman. But it's just that it's his technique, I think, most of all. His the way he delivers it. It's undoubtedly what he's doing. When you watch him doing what he's doing, you're like, oh, he's boxing. It's not like when you see another guy like a Isa Pitbull Cruz, you're gonna say, oh, he's brawling. He's a brawler, puncher, boxer. And then when you see guys like Jermaine Ortiz, he's a technician. You see, guys that are counter punchers. You see it all the time. But with Naoya Inoue, he's all that and more. He's all of that. And that's what makes him unique. I mean, every fighter um, can use improvement. I believe his defense is one that he needs to work on. But I'm just afraid. The one big thing about fighting, or about anything in life, right? And this is might sound weird or whatever, you know, um, but it's truly about everything in life that uh you ever do something really well in the beginning and then you realize you're in it and you're like, oh shit, I'm in it, I'm doing this, right? But when you went in it with so much confidence, it's one of those like, oh shit, I'm here moments and shit. And sometimes athletes get that. And I'm like thinking, is he gonna like wake up one day like I'm like the monster now? Yeah, in a way. Like I'm like, no, don't wake up. Like right. And he's just doing it at a level that is truly remarkable. Once he unified all four belts in his second weight division, right there, I thought, and the world thought that he was going to quickly grab those belts and do the same thing he once did in the lower weight division at 118. When I saw that he did not move up, I can't honestly sit here and say, oh, yeah, I saw that coming. No, no, those are the decisions he was going to make, right? I'm not in his body, right? So I said to myself, once I saw that he didn't move up, I said he was making an adjustment. He was going to stick around the 122-pound weight division and start to acclimate himself because he's starting to realize that maybe he might have hit his ceiling. 5'5" is not the same at 5'5". Tank Davis, 5'5", not the same. He's not the same 5'5" that Naoya Inoue is. That's a different 5'5". Tank's a tank for a reason. You see that melon? That shit weighs 15 pounds by itself. He could take a monster punch. Bro, he's truly built to fight that little dude. Tank Davis, man, he's a fucking tank, bro. Right? And he's so skilled. We'll talk about him in a second. But it's not the same 5'5". No. Bone density, muscle mass, the ability to have moved around in that weight for quite some time. It's different when you can say that you walk around in that weight, and that you've always been that heavy, and that in fact you're cutting a lot of weight to make it. Now, Oya Inoue is in the position where that he's trying to gain the weight and put it on, properly. That little scare that he had against Luis Pantera Nari probably like solidifying the fact that, yeah, maybe I should stay right here for a little bit longer. Had he not ever suffered that knockdown, he might have moved up to 126. He might have made an announcement to go. He was just going to vacate the belts. And then something tells me no, because Goodman was in the audience. So they already had it planned and worked out before the ending of Luis Nari. They already had it planned that if I win this fight, get in the ring, I want to challenge you. Now, rumors are saying that they probably was going to fight in Wembley Stadium or some shit like that, and that the Saudis were starting to like hint around of taking that fight and bring it and putting it on one of their cards. Now, these are all rumors and speculations. None of this shit is official. Okay. These are just some of the headliners that are floating around. And I'm just, throwing it out there like that's what is being thrown around. Now, whether or not he fights him out there and not in Japan, I don't know. Because why would he go out there when he's like selling out 55,000 in Japan in that Tokyo arena? That's not easy to do right there. That's money. So it would make I'd be like, wow. And then out of all places, if you're gonna leave Japan, go to Vegas, go to Saudi Arabia. Uh, I mean, that's big too. That's big too, right? That's fucking huge too. Come to think about it. Yeah, you know how many big mega fights were held there? You know how big that arena is? So yeah, okay. Start thinking about it like that. Yeah, he could pay, and Naoya Inoue is gonna pack wherever he goes. And I truly believe that if you really like the sweet science and you want to see action in a fight, I promise you, if you tune in to watch Naoya Inoue, you will not be disappointed. He is not the type of fighter that has all this skill and that one day you're going to see him running around and throwing less than 100 punches in a 12-round fight. That's not going to happen with this guy. In fact, his dominant spree, technically, with the Donito Donaire, the exception of the Donito Donaire one fight, he's knocked everyone out on the way on the rise to the top. In his last 9 fights that he fought, that every fight was for 2 belts or more, meaning he fought Donito Donaire for 2 belts. The next fight, another 2 belts. The next fight, 3 belts, then 1 belt, and et cetera, like that, like that, like that. Last 9 fights, none of them have been for just 1 belt. It's either been 4 belts, 3 belts, or 2 belts. Last 9. In those last 9 fights, he knocked everyone out. Who's doing that? And at that kind of level, he unified all 4 belts twice in 2 separate weight divisions. And the last time he did it within 6 months. It's a crazy record. 6 months to unify 4 belts. He beat Stephen Kubo Fultz in, what was it, June, July, right? And he fought Marlon Tapales in December. That's 6 months. And he had all 4 belts. Then he goes off and successfully defends all 4 belts against Luis Pantera Nari. He defended them. How important is that? Terrence Crawford never defended none of his 4 belts. Jamel Charlo never defended none of his 4 belts. Josh Taylor. What? Oh, I think Josh Taylor did with that Jack Catterall bullshit ass win or something, right? They count that, right? That sucked, right? Because yeah, it technically puts him in the room, doesn't it? Right? Um, but there has been a lot of champions that have never defend all 4 belts. Now Usyk, he became the third man to unify in 2 separate weight divisions, right? He also stands to have an opportunity to defend all 4 belts in the rematch with Tyson Fury. Now he beats Tyson Fury again. He enters another room, another category of men like Benel Harpington, Taylor, those kind of guys that, because among champion, look, we all know this. It's one thing to win a world title, but when are you considered the real world champion in boxing? It's not a real thing, but when is it that you're considered? When you defend it. The minute you defend your world championship, that's it. You're a champion amongst other champions. I mean, technically, you just win it and then you lose it. No one can take that away from you. You're a fucking champion. We know this. We know this. Okay? I'm not saying that does not make you a champion. Okay. Right? Yeah, it makes you a champion. But what seals it for you, come on, we all know this, right? What seals it is that you defend it. And once you defend it, that's it. Bang, right? Imagine defending all 4. How many men have ever done that? That puts you in a category, in a room. The list is mad small. Now, what Terrence Crawford is trying to do once again, what he's been trying to do this entire time, separate himself from everyone else. That's what he did when he entered the room and he became the first man to do it. Successfully unify all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions, 140 and 147, right? That's what he was trying to do. Then all of a sudden, the fucking room got packed. Boxing had an explosion, and everybody was getting title fights, and everybody was working with everyone to bring boxing back. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's what we wanted. That August 3rd card, that's what we want. And then Errol Spence Jr. is rumored to want to fight Fundora, which I think that's a bad fight for Errol. I think Fundora's starting to realize he's starting to fight long. You ever see the picture with Errol and Fundora standing next to each other? That might be a problem, bro. Everybody think that Fundora is like sweet or something. They think that's going to be an easy fight. We'll talk about it. Anyway, so now Terrence Crawford wants to separate himself from everyone else. He's going to go up to his 3rd weight division. His 3rd weight division, trying to unify all 4 belts, because it actually would be his 4th, right? Yeah, it would be his 4th. He already has 3 weight divisions. And then Naoya Inoue has 4 weight divisions already. If he was to move up to 126, that would be his 5th. But he has to get a belt in order to claim the 5th. All right? And let me tell you something. These are the best we have today. The best fighters we have today in the world. Terrence Crawford currently only has three weight divisions. And he is revered and considered in many circles the best fighter in the world. Naoya Inoue in some circles, and I think so, he is the best fighter we have today. Today, right? And he only has four weight divisions. So to the men and women that have multiple weight divisions, past four, five, six weight divisions, right? That's not easy to do. That is truly not easy to do. As we have seen with our own eyes, time and time again, someone trying to move up just one weight division and fail. What these men are doing, we are in such a great era of boxing, and boxing is in such good hands. We have young superstars like Abdullah Mason. That kid is, man, he is electric. And every time I see a kid like that come out, the next time I see him, man, he's getting better and better and better. I hope they bring him along right pretty soon within the next calendar year. I think he's just going to be ready to contend for a world title at some point, depending where he is. Now, I don't know what fighters like Camille Moulton are going to be doing, seeing that he is Floyd Mayweather's fighter. And as of right now, Floyd Mayweather, as a promotional company, is not faring too well. I don't think, Mayweather could say whatever he wants, and I'm not here to discredit Mayweather I'm just saying what's going on, right? You had a stable of fighters from Tank Davis to Hitcherson. You had you had a stable of fighters. They're all gone. They all wanted out. They all left. The only fighter Floyd Mayweather has currently today is Camille Moulton. How could you be that kind of man and have all those kind of fighters and lose them? And they're all saying the same thing. I mean, they all want it out. You're not paying attention to your fighters. You're not giving them the fights. And Tank Davis took a lot of criticism in his career for not fighting those kind of fights. And we're seeing who is really to blame. Tank Davis was allowing Floyd to take the fights. Floyd didn't work with no one. That's why when Shakur, they're on social media right now, and Tank says, Shakur, who you think was the one that talked you out from signing with Floyd? It was me. I told you not to do it because I was going through some shit. He said, don't do it. Right? So, look, you know, I mean, Floyd was young, man. He had money. He didn't want to settle down into boxing. He gave everything, all his entire life to boxing. He was just a flamboyant dude that, he tried to balance everything, kind of like Oscar De La Hoya. But the difference between Oscar De La Hoya and Mayweather, Oscar had the right people. Even though Oscar was going through his little fucking, you know, drug induced comas and shit and wearing panties online and dressing like, he had good people in his corner that were passionate about boxing and that loved to get up in the morning and do their job. That's what Oscar had that was really good. And they built Golden Boy for him, basically. Because Oscar didn't do that if you want to keep it funky. Oscar didn't build, everybody knows it. He had the right people. And they got greedy in the end because money changes everybody. And everybody, dips their hand in the pie. Now you can't no longer trust people you once thought you could trust. But it's because he allowed those people to see him in those eyes. You know what it must have been like trying to talk to Oscar De La Hoya and he's over there like, right? And when they see you like that, people don't respect you. And they think that they can take advantage and this, that. And I think that I'm not saying that was the case, but in some points of his life, it had to be. because I've seen that happen time and time again to people that start using them. People just start looking at them like they not that dude anymore. And then Oscar turned it around. He's starting to appear everywhere because I think he sees that Ed Hearns is like fucking the modern day Don King. That motherfucker pops out everywhere. Yo, any fight, Ed Hearns slides out like, shh. Yo, what's up? Yeah, yeah, the Brits in the house. Yeah, yeah, remarkable fight. Yes, yeah. What do they say? What do they say? How do you say? Um, bottle of water. Right? I forget how they say it. Right? I forget. My accent is bad. So anyway, right? But he's the modern day, right? So like Oscar's like really starting to do his thing and shit. And he's like been everywhere now. Not gonna say Oscar's an angel, but he had right people in his place. But Floyd didn't have that. All he had was like Leonard Ellerby, and if you thought Len Ellerby was gonna pick up all that slack for Floyd Mayweather's promotion, like Floyd did that shit to 50. When Floyd went to jail, right? 50 took over, made the brand, gave him the team, and he got out. Floyd was like, I ain't asked you to do any of that. And didn't reimburse him or pay according to 50. That's what his claim is, right? You guys heard it, right? So I guess if Floyd is that type of dude, where that he's just a con man at some point and a hustler and a gambler. And if he can get one over on you, he will because of his arrogance, because of his money. I could see that from men that have money. I've seen that a lot. I've never personally met him, so I can't, you know, say that to be certain for sure. But I've seen a lot of people talk about him, and just because they say it doesn't make it true. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And if you're losing all your fighters, if all your fighters are leaving and you only have one left, come on, brother. Either Floyd got to decide that to put that kid and somebody he trusts, like seriously, Floyd, like give him the start you would want it. Give him that opportunity, Camille Moen. And if you can't and you don't have the time to give him and put everything into his boxing career, then don't stall him up. Don't hold him up. Set him free. But put him in the right hands. Just don't let him walk out the door and say, "Oh, you find your way." No, if you really had love for these kids and you really wanted them to, unquote, unquote, exceed you, wasn't that what you were saying, Floyd? That you wanted to see these guys even do bigger numbers than you and be a better champion than you? Well, then damn it, help them, Floyd. Floyd, listen. You could basically go like this and get anybody help. You can change anyone's career. Look what you did for Tank. Just showing up to the fights. Boop, I know Tank had to do the rest. Yes. Tank is a special yes. You had a good one. You had a good one. And you let him slip away, Floyd. So, that kind of speaks volumes. Listen, I'm going off here. Let me catch up to y'all. Benavidez needs that title, that IBF. Benavidez really wants Canelo. He's always going to want that Canelo fight, but I talked about this. Listen, people, Benavidez is Benavidez. He's his own man. He has his own name. I understand it's not Saul Canelo Alvarez. It's not that kind of name, right? But at some point, right? And I talked about this, that when David the Monster Benavidez lost his belt for recreational drug use, cocaine, right? Canelo Alvarez swooped in and picked up the belt, claiming he never wanted to fight him for that belt because he doesn't fight Mexican fighters. Remember that? Once they stripped him, he swoops him and takes it. So David the Monster Benavidez feels like this entire time, that's my belt. I never lost that belt in the ring. I'm the real champion. And I should be awarded an opportunity, a shot back at my belt. So the WBC promised him, yes, yeah, yo, you're the number one contender. We're going to get you a title fight. They told David the Monster Benavidez to jump through hoops. And he got on many podcast shows and at times begged Saul Canelo Alvarez for the fight. At sometimes he called him out his name. He did everything he needed to do to grab Saul Canelo Alvarez's attention. Nothing. So what do they do? Fight a title eliminator. He does so. Fight another title eliminator. He does so. Secure the interim champion. He does so. At some point, David the Monster Benavidez had done everything possible to please everyone to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez. And what did Saul Canelo Alvarez do? He spit it back in his face. Boom. Like if David the Monster Benavidez wasn't shit. Like if David the Monster Benavidez wasn't no one and he looked him over time and time again for lesser money and a lesser foe. And no matter what David the Monster Benavidez did, he couldn't please him. And at some point, David the Monster Benavidez has to say to himself, wait a minute, I'm fucking David the Monster Benavidez. And I don't give a fuck who you think you are, Saul Canelo Alvarez, but I have pride too. And I'm a prideful man too. And I did everything to please you. But yet, you spit it in my face and you spin it around with all these narratives that you won't fight me because I'm Mexican. You won't fight me because it's a lose-lose or I just want a payday. Whatever excuse it was, they offered him 100% pay-per-view buys, allegedly 200 million, whatever it was. Have we gotten the fight? No. So David the Monster Benavidez made a decision, a career decision. He looked at his dad and he said, Dad, I ain't getting no younger. Look what Terrence Crawford did to his career, chasing Errol Spence Jr. He gave up 6 years of his career to unify those belts. 6 years. You know what you can do in 6 years in boxing? How much better of a champion Terrence Crawford could have been? Where could he have been in different weight divisions by now? If it wasn't for the fact that Errol Spence Jr. flipped his car 100 times, got into another car accident, attached retina, all this shit, was that Terrence Crawford's fault? No. Canelo Alvarez is just blatantly avoiding David the Monster Benavidez, and enough is enough. The man decided to move up to 175. Now he's moving up to 175, and we all know what's going on with the Bivol and Arthur fight. Bivol fighting somebody else, right? So now that he's starting to think, David the Monster, he has to be. He's starting to think, you know, I gotta get my hands on one of these belts. Because part of your success and the more money you make is that you're a champion, right? So you're gonna need one of those belts, right? Sometimes, right? There's the rare men that can do it without a belt. But so now David the Monster Benavidez, you know, he's going to be stuck in a situation where eventually Saul Canelo Alvarez is planning $1 billion fight. I know what Saul Canelo Alvarez must be thinking about. And he thinks that he has David Monster Benavidez right where he wants him, right? Because what Saul Canelo Alvarez is banking on is that he's not going to say no to the money. No one's going to say no to that kind of money. What Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to do, he's going to end up offering David the Monster Benavidez like $200 million for him. That's what's going to end up happening. And them Saudis are going to end up giving Saul Canelo Alvarez that $1 billion fight. And he's going to beat Floyd Mayweather in the record books for the largest gate and the largest payout ever. That's what he wants to do. Floyd Mayweather has that record. But if Saul Canelo Alvarez would have said yes to the $55 million, he would have sold himself short. So he's waiting and waiting and waiting. And then he's going to give David the Monster Benavidez that phone call. And he's going to entice him with that $200 million. And Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to stand to make on that night anywhere from 700 million to $1 billion on that night. Mark my words, right? Now, that sounds great. That sounds awesome, right? Check it out, Saul Canelo Alvarez. So far, all your biggest paydays, you turned down. You haven't exceeded any of that kind of money in quite some time. If David the Monster Benavidez, for all those years wasted and all that time, wants to, he can hang up the phone on Saul Canelo Alvarez and leave him holding his dick in his hand. With that $1 billion fight, he'll never get because there's no other dance partner. They're going to pay for that. And he can go and say and figure like this, David, yeah, 200 million. All right, so what? He'll make about $200 million in 3 or 4 fights. He'll get that money, and Saul will not get that $1 billion fight. And in the end, it could bite him. But do I think that David the Monster Benavidez will say no to that? Hell no. Ain't no one saying no to $200 million. But if I was that man and I had riches, I'm that spiteful enough that I already know that how much more richer can I want to get and sustain that and logically believe I can sustain that after Uncle Sam takes half of it, right? So, yo, he would do some ignorant shit like that to me for all those years, and I would remember, bro. Yeah, I might be that spiteful. I know I'm gonna make that money because I'm still boxing. I'm still younger than you. Saul will be retired. David the Monster Benavidez is going to be fighting years after he retires. He'll make all that money up. Doesn't matter. Yeah. And he won't give him his fight for that asshole move he did this entire time. All that shit he made me look like. Think about all the shit Saul Canelo Alvarez did to David the Monster Benavidez up to this point. 2 fucking title interim champions. 3 title eliminators. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Yo, he made him look like a fool. He made him beg for a shot. He was like, beg me and I'll give you a shot. He begged him and he was like, no. Fuck you, bro. Yo, I got pride. Sometimes you can't buy men. Sometimes all the gold in the world, all the diamond won't quench that fire. There's not enough money. There's those exceptional kind of men that they don't do it for the money. You know, that retarded kind of guy that's like, I don't mean to say that, but that, like, you get him for $54 and he fucking shoot everybody up in the house. There's $1 million on the table and he takes $54. I wanted my $54. That's all I wanted. You know what I mean? Those kind of guys. You know, they have a purpose. And but I don't think that David the Monster Benavidez is that kind of man. You know, he's gonna want to get paid. He's gonna want to show the world that he can beat Saul Canelo Alvarez this whole time. And no matter how much money you would have paid him, he would have went in there for free and put hands on him. And if he can get 200 million and Saul can get you that, the smart thing would be to take the fight. But in a good world, I would love to see him spit it back in his face. I'll just fantasize in my head that he would. I know it would never happen because no one's going to walk away from $200 million. It's just not going to happen. He's definitely going to take that fight if it's offered to him. But I think that that's exactly what Saul is doing. Saul knew and he knows what he has with David the Monster Benavidez. He knows the world wants him to get in that ring with them. And they're willing to pay this much money. Hold out just a little bit more. Just hold out a little bit more. He'll get that fight because he's at this rate, he wasn't going to pass Floyd. No, he wasn't. Conor McGregor fought Floyd and got $100 million. Conor got $100 million. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he wasn't passing Floyd with that 55 million guaranteed. Nah, not even with the 200. Yeah, Floyd still would have passed him. Yeah, I think Floyd made upwards of $400 million that night. And on the low, he probably made way more that he didn't, check on the books. Floyd always said he made $1 billion fight that night. I don't know what he had in the background, but he made a lot of money. If you play Conor McGregor $100 million, get the fuck out of here. What? On one night? For one night? Come on, man. That's fucking ridiculous. Talk about your life dream. Would you go in the ring to fight Floyd Mayweather right now for $100 million? Let me know, yes or no. How many out there right now would sign up right now? Get off, no training, nothing. $100 million. Lace them up right now. Now, I don't think there's a person out there that would say no. I'd be like, give me the mouthpiece. Let you're going down. Yo, I jump on him like a spider monkey. Ah, yo, you know what I mean? Come on, man. So when you're dealing with that kind of money, I don't think he would ever say, yeah, David, I don't see him saying no. But yeah, man, it was just, I sometimes I see some of these guys hold up the division and it pisses me off. You know, um, when you see a champion blatantly avoiding the best guy we know, and we all believe that the best 168 pounder truly was not Saul Canelo Alvarez anymore, and that David the Monster Benavidez was just beating that level of competition just that much better. When Saul Canelo Alvarez fought Caleb Plant versus when David the Monster Benavidez fought Caleb Plant, and so on and so forth. And you know, a lot of opinion believe that Saul Canelo Alvarez. Look, I'm not saying that Saul Canelo Alvarez is, not that guy. Okay, because 90% of the rest of the division, I don't think beats him. There's only like 10% that I think that is there, and another 2% that is coming up that might be able to give him a better fight. But that's the fight there. It was with David the Monster Benavidez, and that's everyone wanted to watch that. And that was the only fight to be had and to be made, so yo, Sogon said, "Yo, I will fight Naoya Inoue and Matias at the same time for 100 million." Yo, at the same time, hopping on one leg with one hand tied behind my back. Let's go. I like my odds. Yo, 100 million? Come on, man. You know? Yo. Mm. Yo, I gotta tell you, listen, with Tio Senior, Devin needs to link with Tio Senior. You guys are crazy. Yo, listen, um, it's just that when you got like the best fighters right now, we talk about the best fighters, and this is what I wanted to make this episode about. The best fighters right now. And you see fighters like Devin Haney get exposed the way he did against Ryan Garcia, right? And then quickly, it was about the 3 pounds. And a lot of people were prisoners of the moment. A lot of people were angry. A lot of people were happy. And then, the test results coming out, which was crazy, right? Okay. And what it was finally Devin Haney fought someone bigger than him for the first time that wasn't afraid of him and that can pack a punch. It, as you can see, when he fought everyone else, Devin Haney was the bigger guy. When he fought Regis Progress, he came in 25 pounds rehydrated the next day, and an astounding 165 pounds. On fight night, Regis Progress came into that fight 156 pounds, 10 pounds lighter. When he fought Lomachenko, Devin Haney was bigger. When he fought Who else? George Camboza. Devin Haney was bigger. Devin Haney was beating on these little guys for a long time. And we knew this. They even criticized Devin Haney for this, right? Finally, he gets in the ring with someone that gains 3.5 pounds and is slightly the bigger dude, and they go in an uproar. But ain't that what Devin Haney was doing this entire time? The only thing was, Danny Haney was a professional about it. That you can't say that about he was a professional. He never missed weight. And then he would blow up with all these Victor content drugs, and he would blow up. I don't think they were like keys or whatever, but the vitamins that he getting, whatever Victor's giving him, that boy gaining 25 pounds within one night, that's fucking ridiculous, right? So he finally gets in a ring with a kid that's much bigger than him, not scared of him, and got a big punch. And he couldn't move around that. That's a big flaw. It wasn't the fact of 3 pounds. That fight or the steroids, that's not what fought in that ring that night. I'm pretty sure Floyd Mayweather and Naoya Inoue have fought guys that were cheating, found ways around it. I'm pretty sure they fought with guys that were much bigger than them, found ways around it. Much more powerful than them, found ways around it. Much fast. Well, now, yeah, Floyd, you're not gonna find too many guys, but Zab Judah I think, is just as equally as fast as Floyd Mayweather. He had his Floyd in front of him, and Floyd to prove to be the better version. Yeah, I could say that honestly. Yes, yeah. I take that back. Yeah. Zab Judah was just as fast as Floyd. Yeah, he was. Yeah. He couldn't maintain it. Floyd was better conditioned. That's what won him the fight. Yeah. So, and when you got these guys like this, the Naoya Inoue kid, he's really, showing that he's levels above everyone else. He really is, and you gotta you gotta acknowledge what he's doing. It's just not easy, man. The shit he's doing is crazy. It's like video game shit. It really is. The kind of numbers that he's putting up. You know, when you go to think about men like him and men like him, and when it's all said and done, I just want you to recognize them for who they are. Legends. They are the men that kept this sport alive. They are the men that laced it up time and time again to give us those owls and oohs moments. They kept us tuned in. And for that, I am grateful. That's who they are. They're legends, champions. And I respect both and all fighters. When it's all said and done and this man is retired and they go to look back at his record, it's true. He will not pass Mayweather in the 50 and 0. He's not going to catch him in 50 and 0 record. No. Naoya Inoue has 27 fights and he's 31 years old. He needs 3 more fights to 30 and 20 more fights to catch him at 50. On average, a fighter fights 3 times a year. He's not going to catch him. He's not going to catch him. Now, 50 and 0 is not a record. It's not like a boxing record that no man has ever achieved that. No, that's not a record. At the end of your career, they're not going to give you an award for retiring undefeated. No, they're not. Okay. That's just a personal thing. You retire undefeated, no matter what it is, you retire undefeated. Now let's see what you accomplished. And when we go back and we look at what men like this have accomplished, for instance, Mr. Floyd Mayweather has fought 23 world champions, right? Of course, he's undefeated. He beat them all. I believe out of the 23 world champions, he's knocked out 13 of them or something like that, or 16, something like that. Naoya Inoue has fought 14. I believe it was 13. Luis Nares counts as a world champion. and that would be 14. I think he knocked out a total of 11 or 12 of them. I got to go back and check because his record keeps changing. He's just fighting at a rapid pace. In fact, I could actually anyway. So when you go back to look at these guys' career, right? Naoya Inoue is not going to catch Floyd Mayweather in the 50-0. He's not going to catch him there, and he's not going to catch Floyd Mayweather and I think in beating world champions because Naoya Inoue would need an additional 12 world champions to fight him just to catch up to him, to Floyd Mayweather. He would have to beat another 12 champions. I don't think that's going to happen. So when it comes to like personal records like that, he's not. But when it comes to real Hall of Fame boxing records, which mean what? How many belts did you have in how many divisions? Those are real records. And when we're talking about real records, Floyd Mayweather has 5 weight divisions, right? Naoya Inoue has 4 weight divisions. But wait a minute. He unified all 4 belts in 2 of them. Floyd Mayweather has never unified in any weight division. The most he ever did in one weight division was 3 belts. He was like this close, man, to getting that fourth one. I think Floyd could have unified in multiple weight divisions if the champion would have choose to fight him. But a lot of people didn't sign up to fight Floyd, young Floyd anyway. Like young Money Mayweather, nah, he was vicious. When he started breaking his hands and he became more evasive and he was running more on his bike, then people saw that there was like a chink in his armor. They were starting to attack him. And he was getting older. He took like 2 years off. But when Floyd was Floyd, like Pretty Boy Floyd, yeah, no, Pretty Boy Floyd was first, right? Not Money, right? It was Pretty Boy. When Floyd was Pretty Boy, nobody wanted to fight Pretty Boy. He was too strong, man. That no, he was dominant. That ass whooping he gave to Arturo Gotti, Jesus, man. Listen, I won't watch that fight again. It's just a massacre. So when it comes to records like that, Floyd Mayweather doesn't have Naoya Inoue. He doesn't have him in more belts. And Naoya Inoue, when it's all said and done, when they tally up the rest of his career, which he hasn't even got there yet, we're going to be able to see what kind of champion he's going to be. And in that aspect, he's going to have Floyd Mayweather beat. But truth be told, neither of them will have each other beat because they'll both be legends in their own right. You know, Floyd Mayweather is a legend in boxing. You'll never be able to take that away from him. And in America, he will be our legend. In Japan, Naoya Inoue's name, it's sketched in stone with just the shit he did up to date. If he was to retire today, he's going down as the legend and one of the biggest Japans, or if not, the biggest Japan fighter that ever lived. So and he has more to give. I can't wait until it's all said and done, or sometimes I don't want it to end, but when it does, hopefully he retires as a good champion and he knows when to hang up the gloves, and he's not fighting in his 40s or 50s getting knocked out of the ring and destroying his legendary career. Boxers, a lot of them don't know when to hang it up. And unfortunately, um, that's what we have to see when now you're in the way it's all said and done. So fight fans, listen guys, the journey, what's up or what? He could fight June, September, or one time in December or January. Medea needs to fight 3 more times a year starting this year. That's on average. That's what Ed Hearns and them has signed to the contract. When Subriel Matias signed to Matchroom, he signed so he can get him 3 fights a year. And as a boxing promoter, you have to fulfill your end of the bargain, or like Jerron Boots Ennis did. He went, took his promotional company to court and told them and proved they were not fulfilling and giving him the fights he need year after year after year. And they released him out of his promotional company contract. You see? So yeah, that's in his contract. So I expect him to fight. Can Ed Hearn get these guys in the ring to fight? So, but listen, let's be honest, guy. Everybody's talk is cheap. Everybody says they want to fight Subriel until it's time to fight him. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. And let's see what he does to this guy in Puerto Rico, June 15th. You know, we have two major fights jumping off that day. We have Javante Tank Davis in New York City on June 15th. And then we have Subriel Matias in his island of Puerto Rico coming against the WBO global champion, Liam Paro. And those are going to be two big fights. I'm going to be at the Subriel Matias fights. And I can't wait for this one. Definitely on that night. Well, there's gonna be a few days I won't be going on live in June. I'll be traveling, settling into the hotel. Of course, I'm bringing my camera and my kit with me, and I got like my mics and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I can hook up. Y'all seen them, right? These shits is fly, right? Right? Because you gotta have your equipment. You gotta be ready on the go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So so I got my stuff with me, and there'll probably be some days that I don't film though because of just getting I'm on my vacation. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely gonna go down there to the event and see if I can get to the hotel, interview a couple of the fighters, and see what I bring you guys. And see if I got something back for the show. Who knows? Maybe I get an autograph and we auction it off. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could actually say that like I knew I would get it, but I can't. So, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. So let me answer some of your questions. Yeah, but Tio didn't fight all champions. Fight Matias needs stay busy fights in between unifying belts. Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, and that's a risk that you take. Sometimes you go into these fights. Look at this a big risk that Demetrius Bivol's doing. What if he lose that fight? What if he lose the fight? You know what happens? The train keeps going, just like what happened to Marlon. I mean, not Marlon to MJ with Marlon Tapales. If MJ won that fight, he was gonna fight Naoya Inoue. He never got to fight Naoya Inoue, and MJ never got that big money fight. Why? Because he lost the fight, and Marlon Tapales took his place. Yeah. So, some of these fights, uh, if we might not, somebody else can take your place at any time. So taking these tune-up fights for Sobriel Matias, a lot of these fights are risky. Sometimes you gotta think about your career. And at this age, 31, like he's like not a spring chicken. So, Sobriel doesn't have the luxury just to fuck around and take 2 or 3 fights off. 2 or 3 fights can be 2 years. That could be 2 years of you. Man, listen, you want to lock shit down. And if Subriel sees that if these guys doesn't want to fight him at 140, hop up to 147, fight for the IBF at 147. You can simultaneously have two IBF titles. You can't simultaneously have two WBOs, but you can do it with the IBF. And depending, become a more divisional world champion. Yes, Subriel is a dominant 140-pound champion, one division, just one division. Where does he want to take it? And he started boxing late. I don't think he has a choice. I think his only, where he can really cement himself is at the 140. If the fucking champions would not avoid him. The champions would fight him. Listen, in a good world, Sandor Martin beats Devin Haney. Sandor Martin will fight Subriel Matias. I bet you. He'll fight him before Devin Haney fights him. Can I get a R1? Do you think can I get a yes? Do you think Sandor Martin would fight Subriel before Devin Haney would fight Subriel? That's the way I see his way to that belt, right? And Tio, do you guys think that Tio would fight Subriel Matias? For the right money, yes. Yes. I don't think Teal's afraid of Subriel. I think he just knows he's gonna have to go that extra mile. But I think that Teal thinks he can pull it off. And he wants to get paid. That's all Teal wants. Isa Pitbull Cruz is crazy enough to fight Subriel. Now I know that Isa Pitbull Cruz's kryptonite is fighters like Shakur Stevenson. Isa Pitbull Cruz denied Shakur. Why? Because he said it. Bro, I admit, you'll beat me running around, Isa said. You'll flick that jab and you'll beat me all night doing that fight. You're not going to fight me. So Isa Pitbull Cruz admitted it. You know, that doesn't make him any less than a man. He just said, bro, you're not going to fight me. Had you stand there in front of me and banged it out with me, Shakur, I would fight you. But you're just going to make it a boring fight. Okay, I'm not faster than you. So what? But I'm not going to look like an idiot chasing you around while you're peppering me with the jab, knowing that's what the fuck you're going to do. Because you're not going to want to fight me. Isa Pitbull Cruz said. So Isa Pitbull Cruz is just crazy enough to fight Subriel. I think Sandor Martin will fight Subriel. I think Isa Pitbull Cruz will fight Subriel. And I think Tio will do it for the money. But as long as Devin Haney has that belt, there's nothing in God's green earth. I don't care who you think. I whatever. Say what you want. I don't believe it. I don't believe Devin Haney would ever fight Subriel Matias. Nope. You're not going to convince me today, tomorrow, next week. No. Yo, bro, if Devin Haney ever was to jump on and say he wanted to fight Subriel Matias, bro, I would pack up Round One Sports Talk. The next time you saw me, I would have some sunglasses on like this, with a mustache that would have like this, and I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is Round Two Sports Talk, right?" Because listen, I would pack it up because I wouldn't believe it. All right. I would have to start up Round Two Sports Talk. Listen, let me tell you, man. I don't believe it. I don't think he could say whatever he wants. Oh, Puerto Ricans easiest fighters, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe he's gonna I don't. I mean not Tio, I'm sorry. Devin Haney. Devin Haney. Yeah. I know Tio said that about the Puerto Rican fighters and everything. I think that Tio will fight him for the right money. I think Tio's slick, man. He's a fucking slick motherfucker with his punches. But I don't think Devin Haney will. Uh-uh. Nah. I don't think his father's gonna put him in with that dude. Mm-mm. Devin Haney can't do well under pressure with power. He doesn't do well with it. Enough pressure, enough power. If Devin Haney will forget why he's there, he's gonna get hurt. He has to learn how to deal with that first. That's gonna come with quite some time. Devin Haney's young enough to age Subriel Matias out. He'll never fight. He'll never meet him again. 5 years. You put 5 years on Devin Haney, he'll be 30. You put 5 years on Subriel Matias, it's over with. And Devin Haney will just be entering his prime. You know, he'll have a lot of boxing miles on him. He'll kind of have like a Saul Canelo Alvarez career where he has 60 fights and he's only 33 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have some shit like that type shit. I'm not sure if Devin Haney will make 60 fights, but we'll see. He's up there already. He's up there already. So yeah, he might. Yeah. Devin Haney can make easy, hands down. Hell yeah. Yeah, he'll make 60 fights. Yeah. But I don't think he'll fight Subrel. Nah. Yeah, round two sports talk, right? Yo, I have to turn into that shit because I've been saying it. I just don't see it happening, and I didn't believe it would happen. Well, fight fans, listen, guys, it's been an amazing night. You guys have been amazing. You know what I'm saying? Bam Bam Boogie's holding out on me. We all found out. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Bam, hit me up, Messenger. We'll talk. But listen, fight fans, I love you guys. And I'll be back with another one after this one. Please give the videos a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon just in case YouTube decides to send them out. They might work one time. Listen, love you guys, and I'm out. Peace.